Sure, you might have every train under the sun, but this thing has command control unlike any of your steam or diesel locomotives. It's got dialogue unlike any other too. And when your trains leave the rails, this will get you back on track. Today, we're going to look at this Lionel TMCC equipped motorized crane and boom car here on Datafied. Believe it or not, I've actually got some history to share on this example first. Well, at least I think I do. You see, Lionel has depicted this Union Pacific derrick as JPX 250, but I can find no record of any UP crane using that name. In fact, when I was looking to purchase my example, I simply thought part of the U was missing that made it look like a J instead. Nope, they appear to have misnumbered this example. Anyway, this model was actually built for the Missouri Pacific in 1967 and was numbered MPX 250 along with its sister MPX 251. These two were built by the Industrial Brown Hoist Company and were integrated into Union Pacific's maintenance of way roster in 1988 when the two merged. It now resides in Ogden, Utah, wearing this festive green with red handles paint scheme at the Utah State Railroad Museum. As for the model here, everything I'm about to show you will work for the handful of examples Lionel has produced, so there's probably a crane out there with your desired road name. But for whatever reason, it seems like Lionel produced the crane and the boom car separately. At first, I didn't think much of this, but not only is the boom car a very sharp piece in its own right, but the boom car also has the sounds that go along with the crane. You'll see that in action here soon, but I wanted to mention that because I really think the sounds transform the experience of using this thing. So these use command control, meaning anyone with a Cab 1, Cab 2, Cab 1L, or Cab 3 app should be able to control this. I'm going to demonstrate what it can do with my trusty Cab 1L today. It's the only command control item in my roster where I actually have to pay attention to the controls because they're completely different from regular engine operation. And honestly, that's kind of one of the fun things that has made using this crane so engaging. It's a different experience from anything else on my layout. So let's go through the basic controls. You'd address this like an engine. I use the last two numbers like most operators do, but now everything else is different. The throttle dial turns the crane left and right. There's a full 360-degree usability here. Next, there are 3 auxiliary settings for the boom, the big hook, and the little hook. I'll move the boom first with aux 1 plus the number 1. You can see all the rigging is functional, and that's one thing you'll want to be careful about. I found mine used and had to reset and untangle a bit of the rigging to make it work right. Not exactly a skill set someone would have from working on steam and diesel locomotives. You can see it raise and lower everything now, so it's a pretty slick operation. There's also outriggers that can be activated, and it's really cool to see these deploy. These cranes should come with small plastic sandbags or blocks that these outriggers can rest on to help stabilize things when it's moving heavier things from side to side. Otherwise, it'll fall over. However, I didn't know about this feature, and the example I have doesn't seem to include these. Thankfully, some well-placed Lego bricks will do the job just fine. They're just not prototypical. There's also work lights up front and on the rear that can be toggled, but I need to circle back around to my favorite feature on this, the dialogue. Number 7 here on the keypad gives you some nice crew talk to go along with this, and it's not just random stuff. It's queued up by the movements you're actually making. Sometimes he's even encouraging as you wrestle the wreck from the tracks. Speaking of that, It's about time I showed you our crane's maiden voyage. My son's reaction was great, and we had quite a bit of fun using this crane to actually clear derailed cars in a hard-to-reach spot in this corner of the layout.
He can do it.
What is it?
It's a breakdown tree.
One of the downsides to this awesome layout is that back corner over there. And what happened this morning?
We had a crash.
Yep, and there's cars stuck way back there.
Yeah, new cars too.
So,
But look what we have. Breakdown train.
that's right. We're gonna try it for the first time ever.
Yeah.
I cannot believe this actually worked. We pull them out from the corner and take him off and go retrieve the other car.
Yeah, this worked.
I know!
Awesome. I loved it.
A couple of things I should note. The crane works off of track power. So you should be careful moving things around the tracks, because if you manage to short something, then you turn off the track power and you lose the full functionality of the crane. Or if the thing you're trying to clear from the tracks actually is stuck to the track still and is causing a short, then you won't be able to use the crane at all anyways. So you'll want to make sure that the scenario you're trying to use this in is one where you're not going to short stuff out. In my case, I may or may not have tripped my Power Master once or twice from not exactly getting a movement right. One of the hooks slipped off and it fell and shorted the track. And so it wasn't a completely flawless use, but it is much more handy and just a whole lot more cool to actually use a crane to clear stuff. It's just something I wasn't expecting this to be able to actually do, and something that it performed really quite well. Honestly, the only problems it had was the operator not being as familiar with what angles and what sort of things I should be doing in order to use this properly. I admittedly need a little more practice with this thing, but that's fine, that's fun, and it's not the first time we're gonna lose a car back here, so I'm sure I'll get plenty of use out of this. So not only does the crane look great, have neat features, is actually interesting and engaging to control, but in our case, it actually did a job for us. This is a much more fun way to clear the tracks. As I was expecting this to be more of a gimmicky thing that wouldn't actually work, but it turns out this train crane is really useful. Sir Topham Hatt would agree. Got more questions? Ask away in the comments. We hope you liked this, so give a thumbs up if you would. If you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe so you don't miss our other stuff that we're doing. Check out this playlist linked at the end for more reviews if you liked this one, and we'll see you on the next one.